Okay, so today what you're going to be watching is a talk that I conducted with the USIS members of Stellenbosch University. Now, to anyone who doesn't know those two different things, Stellenbosch University is one of the leading universities inside South Africa, and USIS stands for the University of Stellenbosch Investment Society. Now, this USIS group focuses on working with students that are interested in joining the financial world, the investment world, as well as the trading world. So a huge amount to do with finance. And after over a year of spending time speaking with them and working together, we were able to produce some sort of solution that we're going to be deploying to the Stellenbosch University and USIS members over the 2019 year. So to start off with, the 28th of February, we had our first talk, and what you're going to be watching is part one of that talk, where I cover a whole lot of things to do with the financial markets, how you can get started with trading in that industry, and you'll be able to see more about the insights with my company, my training academy, as well as how we deal with problems in the market to help produce those solutions for students that allow them to be better traders, better investors, and better understanding students of the financial markets. Unfortunately, these days, theoretical knowledge is not the be-all and end-all. You need to have practical experience as well. And our goal is to provide that to the USIS members and any other students interested in joining our project. So to keep this introduction short, I hope you all enjoy watching the talk. Part two of this upload will be coming up very soon, so make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification. What that will do, that'll keep you updated with weekly uploads that we are constantly bringing out relating to educational content, information regarding the trade ideas, the live trade updates, as well as how I share my strategies with students based all over the world, completely free of charge. So without any delay, let's get the video rolling. Hope you enjoy, everyone. Hello everyone, so today I don't really feel like using a mic because we're going to be recording this for public educational use, and we don't want feedback and sound gets messed up and then the entire talk is ruined and I have to do it again. But we are going to be talking about financial education, and more specifically talking about how you can take control of your own financial future with education. So it's not like I'm trying to teach you how to manage your debt and pay off your credit card. I'm actually teaching you how to earn the opposite side of the interest. You're either paying interest or you're earning interest. It's really the most important part. So please make sure to understand everything I talk about today is for educational purposes only. A huge amount of the stuff that we will provide, I will tell you whether it's verified, whether it's factual, whether it's opinion, just to make sure we're all on the same page. But I'm not trying to sell any investments. I'm not trying to sell any financial products. Even though we do have products available, this is for educational purposes only. So just please note, we're going to be recording this talk for public educational content. There is a landing page we have built called msequitiestrading.com/USIS on our main website. Everything about this talk will be up on that website. All of the information about this presentation, the video recorded, as well as the registration steps for you to become a part of the MSE Academy, and to any of you who aren't, also become a part of the USIS. Also, please note that you're free to ask questions at any point if it's a quick question, maybe just something you want to ask. Otherwise, I'll be here afterwards to answer any questions and speak to anyone about trading for as long as they need. So going into the next one, we are 4 companies. So I'll talk to you a bit about myself and everything, but we're going to be running through these slides. We have 33 slides in about 35 minutes. So I'm going to brush over some of the points that are not very important to all of us and really sit in the points that are most important. So starting off with business strategy, the Incubate Fund was a company that I formed specifically to focus on our own companies, be able to provide business strategy, be able to look at venture capital opportunities, partnership opportunities, and provide solutions to clients. In the industry, there's very few people that walk around just providing solutions and then walking off. And these clients are stuck in the mud without business knowledge, and they land up struggling. And we try and get them out of that. The next step, algorithmic research. I started learning how to build algorithms at the age of 18. I was not the kind of person that learned how to program them, but I understood how to build something called architecture. It's the infrastructure. It's what everything is governed with when it comes to an algorithm, systemization. And that's why the MS Text Group was formed. The MS Text Group develops algorithms for my company that allow us to maximize the amount we can generate in the market in terms of profit for myself, my team, and my clients, and at the same time gives us incredible depth into research of data. Now, the more you research data, it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. If you have absolutely perfect data metrics and you can research them for the next 5 years, at some point in time, you'll find a correlation. So sometimes you can go down a rabbit hole there. The wealth management, MSC Wealth, like I said to you, MSC Wealth focuses on the fund management of our clients' funds, whether we work privately with clients overseas or locally with clients publicly. Mainly, the main reason why I'm not going to speak too much about MSC Wealth is because there's obviously legislation procedures, there's legalities, you have to register with FSPs, and we'll explain that just now. But the main goal of this is education. So speaking to you about what we do with our educational community and how it can impact every single one of you. And I can tell you right now, at least 60 to 80% of this room will walk away learning something that is very interesting about the world and about the market that we live in. So just some highlight points just to tell you about myself. I was born into an entrepreneurial business family. I struggled a lot through high school. Didn't land up going to university. I landed up actually doing maths literacy. And because of that, I landed up focusing on things as simple as geometry, calculating shapes, calculating volume of shapes, calculating distance over time. To anyone here who's never taken maths literacy, that's quite literally everything we do. And that's why students get 80% for it, which is kind of stupid. But at the same time, I realized it was an unorthodox about a method that I learned about measuring price distance over time. And that's where our strategies developed. So at age 15, I began learning about investing. Landed up thinking I was going to turn into the next Richard Branson because I read Like a Virgin by Richard Branson, and I thought it was an absolutely incredible book. How he started out at a very young age of 15 as well and just grew to an absolute empire. At 17, I began trading small cap stocks, commodities, and Forex, but didn't have much success. I landed up losing about 15,000 Rand of my own money that I landed up saving from actually being paid to play computer games. So it was a bit of an interesting way of losing my first paycheck. But then by the age of 18, I became profitable and I was making upwards of a few thousand Rand a month. And sooner or later, it got to a point at the age of 19 where I could support myself through trading. And this is trading the financial markets. So just some more highlight points. During that time, I worked for leading educational groups in South Africa, whether it was financial wellness education through the Money School or financial trading education through other companies. I worked in IT programming as well in the implementation. I landed up doing a lot of work in SAP. To anyone who knows SAP, I did SAP educational products and I sold what they called the Learning Hub. In 2016, I became the member of the company to sell the most SAP Learning Hubs in South Africa out of any company in the Southern Hemisphere. I also learned about what not to do with companies. I realized how companies inside South Africa are stuck in the mud. Has anyone ever watched, if anyone here is a computer gamer, you might watch something like a big Twitch channel, a big YouTuber, someone who makes absolute millions and millions of dollars in a completely unorthodox business model. Because they're basically uploading videos from maybe their bedroom, maybe they're living from home and they're just doing it for themselves, but they're out there buying themselves supercars, doing all these kinds of things, not working in a corporate job. Now, I don't mean a corporate job is wrong, but what I realized is if I wanted to operate freely, I'd have to learn about how they did business. So in November 2016, MS Equities Group's formed. December 2017, we already get to 25 countries training around the world without paying a single cent to advertising. That's mainly because we grew organically through word-of-mouth marketing and using something like a YouTube channel, upfronting our education, giving it to our subscribers for free, and then making an agreement with them saying if you join our academy, you'll learn more than what the YouTube channel provides. MSC Wealth was formed in August 2018, and we'll talk about that as well. So to date, over 100,000 YouTube views from 110 countries around the world, students based in 28 countries around the world, and wealth clients based globally. So I'll also explain where they are as well. So learning more, if you want to get some more information, Game Changers magazine, financial publication sent out to financial services providers all over the world. I answer quite a lot of questions about my first early days, my job, how I got started. you can have a look at that link, and that'll teach you a bit more about it. So as you can see, the 28 countries that we train in, all the way from Alaska down to Australia, South Korea, Japan, quite a few countries in Europe, Poland as well, very interesting country. Radoslaw Szywinki is my student in Poland, and even St. Lucia, we have an economics lecturer. She is wanting to learn about how to trade the markets, trade her own money, so she can live comfortably in retirement after she finishes lecturing at the university there. So talking about the free education, over 100 public educational videos, over about 250 private educational videos for our academy students alone. We do we share our free trading strategies, we do weekly educational content, and we look at stuff from economics to fundamental analysis, technical analysis, trade idea reviews, live trade reviews, and videos on request. Also, our subscribers message us and say, please, can you do a video on this content? We put it into our social media upload schedule. So even using something as simple as our free to access YouTube channel gives you the opportunity to learn about how to manage your money in the financial markets better than almost anyone else does. Because I can ask you all this question right now: who here has traded in the financial markets before? Because you put your hand up. So you've got maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, there's some people in the middle. But the minority of the class has traded before. And there's also a chance that of that group of people, not all of them were successful, because starting out in the financial markets, basically everyone fails. There's a thing called the 90-90-90 rule, where 90% of people lose 90% of their money within 90 days, and that's a proven statistic. You can't argue with that. And anyone here who wants to argue stats with me, I'm very good at arguing them. So you really have to make that point clear as well. MSE Nova, in terms of our verified and transparent performance, two of the most important words that I like to use is that we are absolutely verified with everything that we state, and we like to be as transparent as possible. Now, hedge funds are known to be this dark art, where there's very few studies on hedge funds, there's very few pieces of work, and I don't classify myself as a hedge fund, and I'll explain that now as well. So MSE Nova is our portfolio we recently launched overseas in the UK to go and attack the UK market, go and focus on bringing on clients there, but we're going through the registration processes with financial service providers. That's incredibly expensive. MSE Alpha is a local-based fund in South African Rand that we manage. Clients are pouring on capital there through a copy trading technology system that allows them to manage their own portfolio, monitor it every single day, but earn money as we earn it at the exact same time. And that's based on this, what we call MSE Prime. So MSE Prime year to date over about 16 months, these are the audited results up till December. 30% year to date, 27.1% last year alone. Last year, the local markets in South Africa were said to be down by a benchmark rating of 3%. The international markets were down by around about 1%, give or take. So it's proven to say that no one made money last year, so why did we make 27%? And that's also why we say to anyone who knows what happened in February, March, in October and December, we had massive global market sell-offs. But what we were able to do is understand the price dispersion volatility ratios and actually manipulate them. And during those periods of time, February, March, October, and December were the 3 biggest months we ever had. And that was when the most wealth left the financial markets since 2012. So why were we able to do that? And that's because we were looking at everything from an unorthodox manner. So projections to raise upwards of 25 million Rand in 2019 for us to be managing, as well as rising into that $1 billion mark. We'd like to be the biggest competitor in the synthetic derivatives trading industry. So I'm sure most of you know what a synthetic derivative is, but we'll talk about that as well. So going into it, why are we collaborating with USIS? So not only does USIS serve really great wine at their events, they also are actually a really, really powerful group. And people don't realize that the financial industry is the biggest industry on the planet by a far margin. In the Forex trading industry alone, over $3 to $5 trillion is rumored to be moving around at any point in time throughout that day. So in terms of this, we know that the USIS has access to top-level students, and our goal is to establish a collaborative study platform for USIS members to grow together as students of the markets. Second point, host online talks, webinars, classroom talks, so doing things even like this or even sitting together and talking about trade ideas to learn about how to develop as a trader and investor. Allow for future USIS members to access the libraries of educational content, that's why we're filming it, from previous years of lectures and talks, Offer work opportunities available from the MS Equities network to the USIS members and assist these students in preparing for a career in their respective fields. So I have access to clients based all over the world. You name me a country, I'll give you a client. And I kid you not. That was my job as business development management, being able to build relationships with people much more powerful than me. So if I needed to get something from their company or give them something that is of value and exchange it for money, I can do it. And that's why we want to do the same thing with all of these students, is give you the opportunity to access these networks so you can get better opportunities at jobs. It's who you know, not what you know. Research, finding the future. As the algorithmic company we have, everything comes down to research. The less we research, the less we know. And that's what we want to learn more about, all of you. So searching for the next best traders graduating from the MSE Academy. Do you remember the MSE Alpha portfolio that I showed to you? Well, recently coming up, I'll talk to you about it, there was a trader search whereby a company is looking for traders that they can fund with R500,000. And I was the first trader to get funded. Previous to that, last year, I was in a trader search of over 1,300 traders for a company named Trade Socio. They chose 4 out of over 1,000 people. So when I talk to you about finding the future, the best traders that you can find become people who are very good at what they do. Learning and developing, as we begin to train more intelligent and advanced students. I know that sounds a little bit complex, but I will agree with every single one of you as a person without a degree. Having a degree does give you an advantage because you're able to process theoretical knowledge incredibly well, and that is important because sometimes you can't think practically. Sometimes you have to go by the book, and having a degree is an important thing to have. So I always have been interested in understanding how training a university student happens and performs versus training someone who doesn't have a university degree. So building more success stories of how students have grown into helping build the MS Equities Group as traders, finance professionals, and quant analysts. So for the people working for my company, Heinrich von Stein, Ryan Singh, Nick Sproul, and Andrew Gillibrand, either they are brokerage partners to us or have previously worked for our companies. Heinrich von Stein, I actually needed to change that. It's not data sciences. He focuses mostly on machine learning. But all of them have contributed to the growth of our company, and both Heinrich and Ryan can be seen on the photos from our first training program. They were there when we launched, and Heinrich was instrumental in building part of the algorithmic company we have today just less than a year afterwards. And that will be on his CV forever, and he'll always get a gleaming reference from a person like myself because of how well he performed. Ryan Singh taught me about how to manage risk better. You know, coming from a background of actuarial sciences, there was a lot that he knew about risk that I didn't know. And at the same time, Nick Sproul, finance brokerage director for Blackstone Futures in Johannesburg, and Andrew Gillibrand, quant analyst working over 20 years in the industry. He is now a front runner helping me raise capital for my own company. This is a person I once watched in a video 3 years ago and thought to myself, wow, I'd love to meet that guy. Now he does business with us. So talking about development, Obsidian. Obsidian was where everything was based. So I'm really going to skip through the Incubate Fund because we're not talking about business strategy. We're going to talk about education. So Obsidian helped us realize what it meant to turn something into a system of processes, where it was a process that could be followed as step 1, step 2, step 3, and it could not be broken, it could not be cheated unless the person did not use the right step or muddled up the steps. So Project Obsidian based the entire thesis for how we invest in the markets, how we understand volatility, and we're able to successfully prove that by producing an algorithm that averaged around about 23% return annually, which we're very happy with given that's over double the industry benchmark. But talking about the multi-million-dollar finance industry, like I said to you, you're either paying interest, and there's going to be 4 paragraphs I want you to focus on here because these are the 4 things that are very important. We put this up on the USIS page as well, the MS Equities trading page. As of December 31st, 2018, debt held by the public was $16.1 trillion. This is in the US. And intergovernmental holdings were $5.87 trillion. The total national debt of $21 trillion. That shows us there's a serious issue in the world today. We seriously do not know how to manage money. We are $21 trillion in debt. If we used all the cash available to pay off that debt right now, we would still probably land up in debt because we'd expend every single cash source available on the planet. I'm talking about cash only, not gold or bullion or anything like that. That's actually a much more difficult asset to liquidate. Americans have $1.3 trillion in student loan debt. According to the New York Federal Reserve Bank, today student loans make up 10% of all consumer debt, more than double the share a decade ago. That's a 2016 study, it's increased, still sitting at 10%. The financial indebtedness of students today around the world is terrifying. And we're doing nothing to improve their chances of succeeding. We're telling them to get a degree, get out into the market, and get a job. How alone could you feel? If you don't have people to support you, how will you succeed? Because that's how I succeeded. I don't act like I stand here with, the high and mighty, and I'm the person that made me who I am. It's everyone around me as well, and I have everyone to thank for becoming that person. But if you don't have the support systems, this is going to continue to rise. Talking about the good side of it, or you're earning interest. So the finance industry produces more dollar liquid millionaires than any other industry in the world. The total wealth in the world grew by 6% over the last 12 months to $280 trillion, making the fastest wealth creation since 2012, according to the Credit Suisse report. More than half of the $16.7 trillion in new wealth was created in the US, which grew $8.5 trillion richer. So the world is becoming better and better every single day. The only difference is we're not developing. Because the world is developing with what? Computers. It's digitized. It's now fast. It's social media. It's prime. It's immediate. How do you think a company like Amazon was able to excel when no one else could? And Bezos spiked to being $160 billion net worth. It's because he realized that if he does his delivery fast and quick, people are going to be satisfied. And that is specifically why last year he grew so tremendously huge. And Bezos massively impacted the actual wealth creation around the world. Just one person. So that just shows you how much one person can impact it. But let's talk about this. $280 trillion in circulation to this day. Now, the IMF gives a slightly different number. This person gives a slightly different number, but it's roughly $280 trillion. Now, if you think of 0.000001%, I like to call it my little crumb. That's the little crumb that I want to have for myself in the next 10 years. And I feel that, in all fairness, I should be able to achieve that. And based on a little bit of calculation that I can do, I should be able to achieve that if I just work on an average pace of return of about 14% per annum. But this year I did last year I did 27%, the year before about 31, the year before that 32, and then 35. So I know that I'd be able to stay above pace, which means I'll probably get there sooner. And you can do the exact same thing through simple mathematical calculations. And that comes out to 39 million rand. I think that's fine. I'll go for another breadcrumb when that runs out. That's kind of how it works when us financial and traders and investors think. Just going back to the slide, that's how we think. So I just wanted to end off this part 1 by saying thank you to everyone who got to the end of the video, who managed to watch all the way through. To anyone who wants to find out more about how we train students in over 28 countries around the world, you're more than welcome to go to our website, www.msequitiestrading.com. You'll be able to find out more about how we train students, how we run an online academy. We have special web access platforms, mobile app integration, as well as extensive private coaching over that 12-month program. Finally, the Sunday Traders Talk, to anyone who does not know that, on my social media platforms, my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, I've been posting out a huge amount of information, as well as my team doing it, talking about these talks that we're conducting. We all get together as traders and students every Sunday afternoon and we talk about trade ideas. We're actually giving the opportunity to all of you to apply to this. It's completely free of charge. All you have to do is fill in the application form and tell us why you want to come in and spend time speaking with us about trade ideas, trading strategies, as well as lots of additional educational content. On top of it, we provide study note packs. We provide a huge amount of information. It is just like a university lecture, except you're going to be speaking with professional traders. So once again, everyone, like I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get access to part 2, and also leave your feedback down below. If there was any questions that you have that you would like me to answer, I'll make sure to answer them for you, as well as if you have any ideas, any videos you would like me to do, I will make sure to put them in the schedule and do them for you. But once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I will see you in the next one. Cheers for now. Just to give you one final reminder, the MSE Academy YouTube channel has over 100 free educational videos that have been watched by students from over 110 countries around the world. Make sure you become a subscriber so you can keep updated with this content as well. Okay, so now that we're done with that video, you can go to some of the other videos we have available. Over here, you'll see there's the previous upload. Somewhere over here, I hope, there is going to be the subscribe button. So you can just click that subscribe button, quite easy. And then over here is going to be related content from our MSE Academy page that you can also look into.